So I get this question all the time, and I just wanted to go ahead and cover this topic because, like I said, I get it probably dozens of times a week on Twitter DMs or on stream questions, just all the time pretty much. It's probably the most popular question that I get overall on my channel, so people are always asking me, Optimus, how do you get big on YouTube? Do you have any tips to help me get big on YouTube or start my YouTube channel, start a YouTube career? And the main problem with that almost all of the time is that everyone's channels are different. I mean, there's not many channels on YouTube where, it's similar in the way that they would grow, how they would hit algorithms and things like that. So when it comes down to things like that, you can't really predict any of that kind of stuff. It's so hard to do. I mean, there probably is ways, it's just insanely hard to. I mean, it's just so random. There's so much that goes into it. So I can't really give like a set of really definitive tips for literally every single person, because not only would that take me pretty much all my time that I have, because like I said, I'm getting dozens of requests every week or so. And then on top of that, like I said, everyone is so different in how their channel runs and what kind of content they're making and how they'd hit algorithms and related and whatever else that would go into really growing their channel. I just can't do something like that, but I can kind of, give you some mindset tips and things like that to, see really if you're worthy of doing YouTube, because the truth is I'm just gonna say this off the rip, like 97% of people just aren't fit to even really make it. When you take the general population of people, I would say like 97% of people just simply don't have the work ethic, they don't have the understanding, they don't have the willingness to invest, they just don't have what it takes really to get big on YouTube. And that's the case with a lot of people who also say, oh hey, I want to make it big on YouTube. Yes, it's really easy to say, I want to get big on YouTube. It's really easy to say, I want to make YouTube my job, or really, I guess, any social media or anything. But just saying that you want to do it doesn't mean that it's going to happen. And even if you put in a ridiculous amount of work, it's definitely not even close to guaranteed. The chances are still infinitely against you. In January of 2019, there was 1.3 billion, with a B, people using YouTube, okay? Now, to be in the top 50,000 most subscribed YouTube channels, which I actually just broke, I am currently 49,891st according to Social Blade, you basically have to have over like 275,000 subscribers, or you're not going to be one of the top 50,000 quote-unquote elites, quote-unquote top of the game, whatever. Now, when you break down the percentage of where I am, and of course, I'm not even close to one of the biggest channels on YouTube, I'm barely in the top 50,000, okay? That puts you within the top 0.00003846153% of all of YouTube and its users. And I don't even have even close to, like I said, one of the bigger channels. I'm not even close to 1 million subscribers yet in reality. I mean, that's still over 700,000 subscribers away. And it seems like every day more and more channels are hitting that mark, because I guess just over time people accumulate more and more subscribers and whatnot, more and more people are blowing up. But in reality, that's just to put this whole thing into perspective. And the real, universal tip that I can give right off the rip is you're probably just not going to do it. I mean, I know this is a very pessimistic video and whatnot, but I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and get your hopes up. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like it's super common for people to become famous on YouTube or whatever, or that you have this, really high chance of pulling it off. It simply probably won't happen. Okay, now that's part of the problem itself, okay? A lot of people, once they come to terms with that, regardless of how soon they do it in their little dream or whatever, whether it's right when they create the dream or if it takes them 7 years to learn it. Pretty much when most people figure that out right there, it's over, all of their ambition is gone all of a sudden, because, they feel like they're putting work into nothing, and since they don't really have a chance, they don't even want to bother and waste their time. Now, the problem with that is that by giving up on YouTube, there's pretty much nothing you can do after that. If you mentally give up on it, it's just over. If you stop uploading even for a week, most channels, they're completely destroyed. Their progress in the algorithm is destroyed. YouTube starts recommending them a lot less than usual. It does a lot. But you're just going to have to come to terms with that and understand that your chances of pulling something like this off and even getting really to 100,000 subscribers are extremely slim. Like I said, the top 50,000 channels are pretty much over 250,000 subscribers, and you remember that weird decimal that we just read off. In reality, You have way less than 99.99% of people pulling something like this off on YouTube. So you have to think about that, and you have to determine whether or not that's enough to really deter you from doing it. If you're unable to realize this, and you're unable to really, I guess, come to terms with it in a good way and keep making YouTube videos simply just because you enjoy doing it, it's never going to happen. And the thing about YouTube is you really have to actually enjoy making the videos in like 99.999% of cases to even have a shot. Like, personality really sells on YouTube. I mean, you look at a lot of the most popular YouTube celebrities and creators, they have a very distinct personality. Their opinions and their beliefs and who they are as a person often show through in their videos, at least to a certain extent. It isn't often that creators can just like show up and not show any form of personality or thought or anything really and just blow up. It just simply doesn't happen. So that's going to really lead me to my second quote universal tip, is that you have to not focus really on getting big. You need to just focus on enjoying what you're putting out. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but I started doing YouTube way back in 2012, okay? And it is 2019. I did not have a video hit 1 million views. I did not have 10,000. I had 1,000 subscribers up until 2017, and yeah, that's just how that was. I spent pretty much at least, about half of my school career basically making YouTube videos for nothing, but just enjoying doing it. And I really liked making YouTube videos. I've loved YouTube really ever since I really got into the platform as a kid. And, you know, if you're not willing to do that, it's not going to happen for you either. Like, you got to actually show that you care about your content. I mean, you don't often find channels where the people don't actually enjoy their content and they put it out and everyone else loves it. I mean, eventually you'll kind of get this down to a science and you'll start producing videos that you love pretty much all the time. But it's going to take a while really to kind of get a bond with this content and actually enjoy what you're putting out and, you know, develop a style around it and things like that. It took me years. I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, if you don't have the love for the content to do it for years for free and with nobody watching, you just aren't going to do it. I mean, most channels don't just start and then 2 months later they're at 3 million subscribers. It just doesn't happen. Now, there are a few instances where channels have done something this insane, but just very often, no. Never really. When you break it down statistically, I'm sure that the fraction is probably smaller than the one we went over earlier. It's not going to happen. You're going to have to enjoy making YouTube videos so much that you're willing to do it for years. In instances like mine, over half of a decade, okay? Half a year's school career. I started my YouTube channel when I was in middle school, okay? Modern Warfare 3 it was barely out. I mean, it was out for only a couple months. My next universal tip is you're going to have to be willing to invest, and you're going to have to be willing to actually put money into your YouTube channel, even if you're not making money on YouTube, even if you're not even monetized on YouTube. You're going to have to put money into it, or else it just isn't going to happen. For instance, when I started YouTube all the way back in 2012, I was recording MW3 commentaries and Roblox videos with an iPod Touch and with a very shitty Sony Vaio laptop, okay? That's really all I had. That was my equipment. I didn't have a microphone. I didn't have a setup. I didn't have a editing PC / streaming and gaming PC. I had a PlayStation 3, I had a computer, and I had an iPod Touch, all of which my parents had bought me pretty much for other things. I mean, the iPod Touch wasn't really for filming and whatnot, and obviously the PlayStation was for me to play. You know, these things were what I started off with, and I used the iPod Touch for like a year. Then I eventually asked for an actual camera, and I started recording with that. I would stack it up on these like bookshelves and stuff that I had. That way I could get it to the height I wanted, and I would record commentaries on like Black Ops 2 and in Zombies and in all these other games with that, okay? And then once the PlayStation 4 came out, of course, it had the luxury of saving clips and recording. It had Share Factory and whatnot, so I started using that and my mic and whatnot. That's how I started with that content. That's when I finally moved to quote-unquote HD. And I used that format until literally 2017. That's when I finally built an actual editing PC. That's when I actually got an Elgato. That's when I actually got a mic. And after that, pretty much the quality of my videos was way better, and eventually it just helped a lot because, well, my channel exploded. But I know so many people who think that they're going to get to 100,000 subscribers by recording with a handheld camera and using that for the audio and recording a TV. It won't happen. And the truth is in 2019, there really isn't an excuse to have bad quality content when it comes down to like it not being in HD or you not sounding at least like you have a mic that isn't the PlayStation 4 mic. Like right now there's a lot of reverb probably on my mic. Haven't completely finished my new setup yet. Still need to put up these foam tiles and whatnot. But I mean, there's so many people who just think that that's gonna get by, and making low quality content literally is just gonna fly, and it's not. People are not gonna watch that. Okay, the standard for YouTube right now is 1080p 60 FPS. An Elgato is like $150. A USB microphone can cost anywhere from like $30 to $200, and their quality is going to vary. Or you can get more professional microphones that obviously aren't USB. But I mean, yeah, like the PlayStation 4, it records in 1080p for you. Okay, 30 FPS, but 1080p, at least you're in HD. It has Share Factory to edit in. Okay, you can get very poorly put together video editors and stuff for your computer, or you can buy a subscription to like Adobe like I have, and you'll get Photoshop and Premiere and all the other stuff you need. But my point is there's not really many businesses on earth where you can make money without investing money. YouTube is the exact same. If you're not willing to put any money in to make your content better, to help yourself become more familiar with what you need to be doing, you can't do anything, okay? You're not going anywhere. If you're strapped for money, you might have to get a job. I mean, you might have to go and work at McDonald's for a couple months to be able to afford everything that you're gonna need to start off with whatever you wanna do, okay? You might have to mow some yards, but trust me, it's gonna be good for you. Not only because you're gonna get some money in and you're gonna be able to start YouTube, but I mean, your work ethic is going to improve just because of that. If you're willing to go mow yards just to get money to invest into YouTube, most of the time, that indicates that yes, you do have what it takes, you do have the care for YouTube, you do have the passion to put into it to actually make it on the platform. But here is the universal tip that, you know, it doesn't really matter what you do, okay? You kinda have to get just a little bit lucky. And that's just the reality of it. You know, there's probably a lot of math that goes into it that really isn't, quote, luck, but when it comes down to it, if YouTube's algorithm is not going to promote you, you're not going to get new subscribers, you're not going to get many views, and those two things right there are pretty much the key factors you need really to quote-unquote blow up and be big on YouTube. So, of course, there are plenty of ways that you can, of course, make your content more, I guess, searchable and whatnot. Of course, adding like keywords and stuff in the tags, properly titling your videos, making high quality, you know, visually appealing thumbnails, making content that when you listen to it doesn't sound like the Modern Warfare 2 mics and the video quality isn't like something from 1973. These will make your content more watchable, it will make it more searchable, and YouTube is much more likely to recommend these kinds of things. But at the end of the day, you never know. Okay, like I said, I did YouTube, I've been doing it for 7 years now, okay? And for only 2 of it have I really had anyone watching, okay? So, you know, you're gonna put a lot of time in, you're gonna try to hit that algorithm for a long time, you're gonna be putting a lot of work and money into your content, you're gonna have to play a lot of mental gymnastics with yourself, but in general, I would say these things are things that you need to keep in mind if you, quote, want to make it big on YouTube. But the truth is really the mentality of I'm going to make it big on YouTube or I'm going to strike rich because of YouTube. That mentality alone is already setting you up for failure, because if you're focused more about making money off of your product, even after you make it big on YouTube, if you're really only focused on making money from your videos and stuff, it shows, and at the end of the day, that's not really how you want to build an audience. To build an audience on YouTube is going to consistently come back and watch your videos. There's a lot of different things you need to be doing, but focusing only on making money and not making content that you like and making the kind of content you would watch, that way people like you will watch it, those are the kinds of things that aren't going to set you off on the right foot, and it's honestly probably going to lower your chances because you're not going to be focused on making the best content. You're not going to be focused on even making content in general. You're just going to be focused on making a paycheck. In reality, that just isn't how YouTube works. On top of that, if you really want to focus on money, you know, kind of one of the worst times in YouTube history to do it. All the demonetization and copyright issues on the platform, they've done a number on a lot of paychecks, and, you know, you might not be spared. That's just the truth. So these are kind of my tips, I guess, or my thoughts on, hey, how can I make it big on YouTube? Hey, how can I blow up on YouTube? I'm not saying don't try, but you know, the chances are going to be against you. I don't want to set you guys up for failure and get you guys hyped up for something when I know that statistically it's probably not going to happen to even the extremely ridiculously vast majority of you. But if you have the work ethic and you can understand what I'm saying and you have the passion for YouTube and you are willing to put things into it that others aren't, you know, your chances are going to get better. And I'm not saying it won't happen to you, and I honestly hope it does happen, but keep in mind that, you know, might not. Thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're brand new around here on my channel. Follow me over on Twitter at SubToptimus. I post memes, thoughts, and updates over there. It's a surefire way to get notifications of all my newest content. Join the Discord down below. Lots of great things going on down over there. Thank you to my channel members for your $5 a month. Your support helps my channel tremendously. If you'd like to become a channel member for only $5 a month, you can do so by hitting the join button down below or the become a channel member link in the description. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, making it big on YouTube, and signing out.